you don't know him, you didn't know him. He was 3 years old, so she did a very big favor to my mother. It means her sister. She was in New York, and my father went to New York, and he was 2 years in New York, and he makes good money, but he misses his wife, my mother, and he kept writing letters, and finally he couldn't stay any longer, and he didn't say anything. After 2 years being in New York, a neighbor came and said, Dora, Dora, I see your husband coming. And my mother was feeding the baby, my brother, and she went out. He walks with a valise. He didn't say that he's coming. He came back.
He surprised her?
He surprised her. My father. They both had such opportunity to stay in New York, and they would go through the war and everything. And this is what happened. It's really amazing that he didn't say nothing, because he thought that my mother maybe she would go to New York, but she had a mother, my grandmother, and she was very close with my mother, and she says, you want to go to New York, you're going to leave me here for myself. She didn't have a husband already, but he passed away. So my mother, between the baby, between her mother, she kept writing to him, but he couldn't be there any longer. He misses her. This is his wife, so he came back. You know?
That's beautiful.
It meant to be this way.
Yeah.
It's so many stories that you can imagine. I never talk so much, but we didn't have a chance.
What was your aunt's name? Do you remember your aunt's name?
My aunt's last name.
Or your aunt's first name?
Yeah, Foyer.
Foyer.
F-E-U. Foyer. F-U-E-R. Yeah, Foyer.
F-U-E-R? That's her last name?
The last name. And the first name, I know the Jewish name. Her name was Scheindl.
It's just cool.
I don't know, but this is a Jewish name.
No, I know. It's just interesting because that means that we have family in New York that we don't know about. Which is really cool, actually. No, you're not interested.
No, but she's like, whatever.
Yeah, well, they dicked us over.
It's interesting to me.
You
So,
know,
like, our generation of that, like, I'd be interested in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
The aunt dicked her over that.
Yeah, I've heard the aunt was pretty fucked up.
What is
That's
it?
really...
I
Your aunt was a little...
What?
Your aunt, Fiora or whatever, is a little...
Fjord.
not very
She
nice.
was not nice. She didn't treat you nicely.
Who?
Your aunt in New York City.
Your mother's sister.
Oh, no. But I remember...
But she had children,
Yeah, she has...
and her children probably
she
had
has
children.
sons, 2 sons.
So the names are probably the same. We gotta look that shit up.
And,
So interesting.
Ancestry.com or whatever.
Ancestry.com. Fjord. It's something. Here we go.
Excuse me? Pardon?
yeah, but it's meant to be this way. I believe in destiny. It's meant to be this way.
Yeah.
If my parents would stay in New York, I wouldn't have you. I wouldn't have you. I wouldn't meet my husband.
You would never met
I
Willie.
wouldn't meet,
Everything would be different.
it could be definitely different. But
It's not crazy that we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. I really like the story of how that woman that you met in Auschwitz, who used to steal you the potatoes, connected you with Grandpa. That's such an incredible story.
Her name was Golda.
Golda.
Golda, and
Golda?
it's a funny thing. that we met later, so after so many years, we met later in Sweden, and we became friends, you know. So she was involved with the boy, and I was involved with your grandpa, with Willie, and I didn't know. She passed away maybe 5, maybe 6 years ago. His the Golda,
Yeah.
and her husband, they were very happy couple. They had only one son, and after she passed away, he started calling me.
The son or the husband?
No, the husband,
Yeah.
not the son. And he lives in New York, and I live in Florida. So he started calling me, and he wants to meet me, and he kept calling me, and I kept calling. He was an intelligent man and a nice person. And I didn't know that he had a crush on me. I didn't know,
Whoops.
but he said so. And every time when he finished conversation, he says, "I love you." I said, "My God." He loves his wife, he lives with her, he has a son, the son is married, and he tells me he loves me. And
When she was alive?
no, she passed away.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So he only
passed-
said, "I love you" when...
and my husband passed away.
I
So
understand. I
he
didn't pick that one up.
he wants to make a
Yeah.
connection.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wow.
every time when I went to the country, you remember my bungalow?
Yeah.
So he kept calling and calling, and once he said to me, "I'd like to meet you." I says, "If you want to meet me, please, you can come." So he asked his son, and one Sunday he came to see me. When he came to see me, I called Lorca, I called Zosha, I called Erla, and we all sat on the porch. It was summertime, it was when I put some drinks, some fruit, and he started making pictures with me, the sun, with everything. And then he was sitting a little while, and he went back home, and he called me, and one day he said to me, "You know, I'm going to marry off my son in July, so I would like you should come to the wedding." So I says, "How can I come to the wedding?" No, in June, it was in June. I says, "I'm still in Florida, and I could come, but I didn't want to." You know, I tell you why. He was very religious, and the wedding was like women separate and men separate, and I would be uncomfortable to sit with people I don't even know them, and I didn't want to go to the wedding. What happened was, I would make myself, I would feel that I have him on my conscience. From the wedding, they took him to the hospital because he had a heart condition, and he had a heart attack. If I would be there, I would think maybe because he was so excited, and
Oh, my God.
you know, I was so glad I didn't go. I didn't feel like to go. And he was very disappointed. He says, "I wish you could come." Before he got sick. And a while later, he passed away. He died.
Not at the wedding,
No.
but he had a heart attack at
He
the
was
wedding.
very sick, and
Holy
quite a while. And then he passed away.
Wow.
But he really, I said, how could you have you love so much God, and every time he finished conversation, he says, "I love you." He really loves me.
Listen, a lot of men have loved you. A lot of men.
But
A lot of men.
yeah.
You're a homewrecker. Look at you, lady. Alice.
And, and I picked Willie.
You picked Willie.
Yeah. See? Your grandpa. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
He had a good heart.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good man. You know, and the shul where he was working is still a big plot It says a few words about Willie, and it's hanging in before you go to the kitchen. He and his partner.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise us.
Can you believe that's already 13 years?
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
I can believe it. That's 13 years already. It's a long time.
Do you remember when we all
I
came
do
down
miss
here?
him a lot.
Wow. Do we all stay here? In this house?
Yeah. We're all camped out
What'd you
all
say?
over.
No, I remember 13 years ago. Remember? I was talking to
We
somebody.
were all here in this house when Grandpa was in the hospice.
When what?
When Grandpa was in the hospice. In the hospital.
Yeah.
And we were all here, all sleeping on the floor. Do you remember? You were probably
Yeah.
too upset to remember.
Yeah, the whole family came down.
Yeah. There's so many memories. And sometimes I go to bed and I cannot sleep the whole night. I start thinking about my past, you know, when I was young, when I got married, and this and that. And then I get up from bed, I said, I have to break it up. And I walk in the kitchen, I go back again and again. You know, you think about it. You can't forget.
Well, you had a big life. Okay.
That I pray to God, and I count my blessing that I have a nice family, that I brought up good children, and I have great, your mother and your father, and they brought up kids. Thank God everybody is healthy, everybody is happy, and I have to really be blessed and be thankful that I have it, because you hear stories from people how children behave and the grandchildren. It's awful, you know. So I count my blessing. I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, we all get along.
Yeah.
We talk so
She's
much.
just slapping me.
You have such a soft